Hi. Hello and hello. How are ya? And welcome to the Thursday Troubadork COVID Coping Mechanism show. There we go. Oh, it is Thursday, the 4th of March, when the imaginary revolution is imagined to be happening by imaginary people who believe in imaginary things. And the rest of us are like, dude, we're still dealing with everything else. Just whatever. Today, through no fault of my own, and definitely not through it's really third day, that's right. Through no fault of my own, today's set list is mostly covers. One filk. And I don't think that's a problem. It is something that I haven't done for a very long time. I try to do at least one original piece, or at least a piece I claim to have written, every show. And today, today we're just kind of winging it. I'm gonna bring the microphone in a little bit more so I can try to remind myself that I don't have to project a name for the back seats. I lose 2 viewers immediately. I don't even know. I don't know why I watch that number, because I don't know if the counts actually make sense or not. I have been told that if you're watching on Facebook and you move the Facebook tab to the back of the, so it's not your front-facing tab, that it decides you're not watching, which is bizarre, but there it is, and here we are. Okay, let's do it. I'm going to start with a Jimmy Buffett song, amusingly enough. And it's a Jimmy Buffett song I haven't done for quite some time. And it's one of the ones that I first learned. There we go. I'm going to try and do it in a relaxed manner. And see if I can just... in the back seats, yes. Now they make new movies in all black and white, with happy endings where nobody fights. So if you find yourself in that nostalgic rage, honey, jump right up and show your rage. I wish I had a pencil-thin mustache, the Boston Blackie kind. A two-tone Ricky Ricardo jacket and an autographed picture of Andy Devine. Oh, I remember being buck-toothed and skinny, writing fan letters that skies needs penny. Well, I wish I had a pencil-thin mustache that I could solve some mysteries too. But it's a bandstand Disneyland Where am I? Bandstand, Disneyland, growing up fast. Drinking on a fake ID. Well, a Rama of the jungle was everyone's Moana, and only jazz musicians were smoking marijuana. I wish I had a pencil-thin mustache, then I could solve some mysteries too. But it's a flat-top, dirty mop copping a field, grubbing on the living room floor, so sore. Well, they send you off to college, try to gain a little knowledge, but all you want to do is learn how to score. Well, now I'm getting old, I don't wear underwear, I don't go to church, and I don't cut my hair, but I can go to movies and see it all there, just the way that it used to be. That's why I wish I had a pencil-thin mustache, the Boston Blackie kind, a two-tone Ricky Ricardo jacket, and an autographed picture of Andy Devine. I could be anything that I wanted to be. Maybe a sway bear. Where am I? Be anything that I wanted to be. Maybe a sway barrel. Really? Honestly, have you ever had just such a boating accident in the middle of a song, you just decide, you know what? We're going to start that part over again and just pretend like it never went wrong. Now, we'll be wrong about that. We will have lied, but we're going to do it anyway. Well, I am be anything that I wanted to be. Maybe a sway barrel playing there go, or the Sheik of Araby. If I only had a pencil-thin mustache, then I could solve some mysteries too. Yeah, Brill cream, a little dabble, do ya? I could solve some mysteries too. IR in Texas. IR somewhat lost, and that's okay. It has been a complicated week. Got my first shot yesterday. Today, I finally got to do something that I've actually been waiting to do for about a month, and that is go get a new title for one of the cars that we have, because one of the vehicles we have is now 100% paid off. Yay. And like responsible adults, we're taking that extra money. I got through it, though. I did. Jules, any song you can walk away from is a successful one. And after all, since the official motto of the Troubadork show is, I am not very good at this, it kind of sets the bar sufficiently low that anything, you just fall over the top of it sometimes. But we did pay off a vehicle. And that's pretty darn important. Now, I had to go to the tax office twice because I did the paperwork wrong and had to go back to the car and get Amy to sign something, and had to go back to the car and get another thing. And after the third time I had to go back to the car, I was like, you know what? We'll try this again later. And today I had to go into the office, unplanned, but I decided that I would stop on my way back home at the tax office, and I did get the paperwork done, so that's good. It's kind of an impressive and bizarre thing, and I'm happy about it. And as such, I'm also a little embarrassed that that pencil-thin mustache had as many boating accidents in it as it did, because it's always fine when I'm doing it like normal, you know, like not in front of y'all. Now, I'm at home, I'm just by myself. We're fine. And I get in front of y'all like, not those exact words, but close. So so we are, wrapping up show 200. Actually won't be on Saturday, on this weekend, because today is show 197. No, wait, strike that. I'm wrong. Today is in fact show 190. Fix it now. 8. There we go. Which means that I will be doing show 200. 199 would be Monday. 200 would be Tuesday. It also means that we'd be coming up. It also means that in 2 more weeks after that, we are coming up on the 1-year anniversary of me doing this doofy little show. That may turn out to be the bigger thing. So show 200 may just be a big McLarge, huge regular show at a regular time that just goes on longer. And then show the 1-year anniversary show, maybe a weekend thing. We have no plans whatsoever. I am, Jules, I am as surprised as anyone that I'm getting here. I think mostly I do it out of habit and sheer bloody-mindedness. Let's do another song. Let's do the next song, which is a filk. This is based off The Man Who Sold the World, and it's actually specifically based off of Nirvana's cover of The Man Who Sold the World, because I do not have the production value to do a cover based off Bowie's version of The Man Who Sold the World, and so he's the man who wrote the song. Yeah. But there are 2 riffs in here which could kill me. Let's see what happens. I met him at the fair. We spoke of where and when. Although he was not there, he'd comped me as a friend, which came as some surprise. My act never caught his eye. I thought he'd driven home a long, long time ago. Oh no, not me. I never change my clothes. Your face with the man who lives at Faire. I laughed and shook his hand and drank from his own flask. Went back to my homeland, and I knew what I should have asked. I gazed a gazely stare at all the folks at there. We should have driven home a long, long time ago. Oh no, not us. We never change our clothes. Your face with the folks who live at Faire. Oh no, not me. I'll never change my clothes. Your face to face with the man who lives at Faire. Not bad. With kitty cat heckling out there. I am glad that I improved people's day a little bit. My goal here is just to give y'all a little something to make you giggle, whether it's the fact that I'm doing funny songs or fun songs, or just the fact that my boating accident-like nature makes this entire thing interesting from a, wow, I wonder how bad it's going to go this time perspective. It's kind of the same dynamic that I use at the magic show. I mean, I call it the juggler dynamic. When you go to see a juggling show at a festival, you want to see a demonstration of skill, but there's a small part of you that kind of wants to see what happens if something goes horribly, horribly wrong. Let's watch. Now, the next song I'm playing now. called Drink. I'm broken-hearted with all that entails. It'll take some concentrated drinking to keep me on the rails. I have to hide my face, I have to hide my shame. I don't wait till I'm sober, till I get drunk again. I drink at home, I drink out, I drink in cocktail bars. Falling down, seeing stars, it suits me, it suits me. Falling apart in bars, I like to suffer for my art. Just one more before we part. My oh my, I can't compete. It's only heavy drinking that keeps us on our feet. Oh my, I can't complain. If it weren't for heavy drinking, we couldn't bear the pain. My, the days go by. I never can forget her, though goodness knows I have tried. Believe me, going astray in all the bars from here to Mandalay. They never close, we never pay. I don't like to think about how much I drink. It's a habit that's out of control. Oh yeah, I hope I never get dry before I get old. Necessary. My oh my, I can't compete. It's only heavy drinking that keeps us on our feet. Oh my, I can't complain. If it weren't for heavy drinking, I couldn't swing sweet Jane. My, the days go by. I'll never can forget her, though goodness knows I've tried. Believe me. Falling apart in bars, I like to suffer for my art. We are just 2 weeks away from the anniversary when this whole mess got its start. I don't like to think about how much I drink. It's a habit that's out of control. Hope I never get dry before I get. Hope I never get dry before I get. Hope I never get dry before I get old. That's a comfy song. Even if I don't do it right, it's like a warm, fuzzy blanket on a cold, muggy day. But we've had enough cold, muggy days to justify that statement, I think. So, yeah. Things are changing, as they always are. We are due for our second shot around the last week of this month. In the meantime, the state of Texas is demonstrating the forethought, foresight, and general good sense that got us where we are right now. I will make a note that the current management of the state did this exact same stupid thing during spring break last year. Now, of course, they managed to go forward and make even more stupid judgment calls in the run-up to this stupid judgment call, but be safe out there and be careful. Because I think it's very important that y'all are around for as long as possible, if only because it gives me an audience. That's what we call enlightened self-interest. Yet 2 weeks till we now begin to commuting sentences. I meant begin to actually commute like in stair steps. Literally going upstairs downstairs. It was a strange, strange thing to do. Oh, all right. So, goodness me. Gonna fall over, burn. Yeah, I could very well have stuck the landing, then fallen over, caught on fire, and then burned down. And then they built another castle on top of that. And then I built another show. First, I built a show, and that fell over and sank into the swamp. Then I built a second show, and that fell over and sank into the swamp. Then I built a third show, that burned down, fell over, turned Welsh, and then sank into the swamp. And I built a fourth show, and that one stood up. And that's why we're here now. That's something like that. It is the last show of the week, and there's a certain tradition that we have, if we have any traditions at all, aside from occasionally playing the Monolith jingle out of the blue for no damn reason. Get yourself a monolith, put it out where everyone can see. Yeah, get yourself a monolith. The absurdity will set you free. It doesn't really matter whose party that you're with. So let's all make it weird. Get yourself a monolith. Ray's House of Monoliths, we deliver, just don't ask how. Alright, now aside from that, the best built show in these oils. So I am going to play a song that I really loved, and I'm very happy that I actually found the chords to it in a way that I could actually play it, because and it sounds like it's a music hall song, but it isn't. It is, in fact, a fairly modern song, and by fairly modern at this point, actually, it's vintage, because it was written in the 70s. And it is more Monolith. And it is, of course, Eat Bertha's Mussels. And I'm actually playing it with the chords right here in front of me on the screen below the camera, which is why I'm pointing at y'all. There's actually somebody on the other side of that camera holding up a sign going, sing the damn notes right. Real quick before I do that, I would like to make sure this was actually in tune for this song. Once again, my enthusiasm in my playing will occasionally cause my instrument to go wildly out of tune, and at least in one case to horrifically detune itself so severely I was playing a different song by the end of it. Let's do it. Eat Bertha's mussels, they're the best there is by far. You can eat them in the dining room, you can eat them in the bar. So when you're ashore in Baltimore and you fancy a bite to eat, just follow your nose to Bertha's and you'll be in for a rare old treat. I will note that I actually was the first person to hold up the rags, and then Weasley came along after I got a spot on stage, and then I became Tobias the Adequate, and then the whole thing went away. Now a sailor came to Bertha's with a problem most severe. His manly pride had been atrophied by a voyage of 14 years. So he ate a plate of mussels. Now he sings in a different key. His jibum set right, he'll be back there tonight, and he's not going back to sea. So eat Bertha's mussels, they're the best there is by far. You can eat them in the dining room, you can eat them in the bar. So when you're ashore in Baltimore and you fancy a bite to eat, just follow your nose to Bertha's and you'll be in for a rare old treat. Now a lady came to Bertha, shocking, who wanted a daughter or son. The doctor had said with a shake of his head that she couldn't have either one. So she ate a plate of mussels and went home to her husband. Dear, hi babe, she tuned up his cruise, and to tell you the truth, they had triplets the very next year. So eat Bertha's mussels, they're the best there is by far. You can eat them in the dining room, you can eat them at the bar. When you're ashore in Baltimore and you fancy a bite to eat, just follow your nose to Bertha's and you'll be in for a rare old treat. They will cure your diarrhea, thank God, cure for your constipation too. Just follow 8 bucks for the chicken pox, for the measles, or the flu. So if you fancy a healthy life, get your daily dosage straight. Inflated air, BERTHA'S muscles, and you'll live till you're 98. So eat BERTHA'S muscles, yum, they're the best there is by far. You can eat them in the dining room, you can eat them in the bar. So when you're ashore in Baltimore and you fancy a bite to eat, just follow your nose to BERTHA'S and you'll be in a rare old treat. And so we come staggering in sideways, 1 foot in a privet hedge, the other dragging a small yappy dog which is latched onto our ankles like a steel trap trying to find the carotid artery in the wrong dang part of the body. Wondering exactly how we got here and what happened to our bus fare. The end of yet another Tobias the Adequate Troubadork show. I want to thank all of you. We have reached 10! We have reached 10 viewers! Yay! We broke that 2-digit barrier! You guys don't understand how giddy that makes me feel. I mean, honestly, the fact that you're even there is amazing. That, or there's somebody over there at the Restream place just pushing buttons trying to make, let's see if we can make this idiot smile, pushing buttons like that. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me here once again. We will continue to do this until such time as we have a better plan. Here in this room known as Away, in the house known as Ororoki, in an undisclosed location in San Antonio, Texas. San Antonio, where they're currently redesigning what the Alamo Plaza is going to look like, which is actually not a bad thing, because if you've ever been to the Alamo, it's actually rather small. It's a bit like the garage of Texas. You know? It's like that. It's a startlingly unimpressive building. There are many, many much more interesting missions all around the area, many of them in San Antonio itself. But I digress, because that is what I do. So let's do the thing. PayPal.me/theadequate, Venmo @theadequate, Eric, Rick, Robert, Emily, and Miranda. Thank you very much for throwing some bucks in the bucket. As well as to my amazing Patreon patrons over here at patreon.com/theadequate. That is, of course, Genjo, Alexi, Austin, Chris, Tepo, Shay, Linda, and Stephen, Rob, Alicia, Relly, BK, Richard, Brian, and Lorene. Yes, you are currently number 7. And without whom much of this would make even less sense. Any money that comes in from this goes to making this show more technologically sound, making the show actually more qualitatively better. I have no idea at this point. I'm just going to keep trying to practice. Since all these shows really is an open rehearsal with online kibitzing. And that's the way that works. Online, of course, you can find me at theadequate.com for all of your adequacy needs. I am at The Adequate on Facebook, at The Adequate on Instagram, at The Adequate on Twitter. I am at Tobias The Adequate on TikTok and Tumblr. SoundCloud.com/Matthew-Laguerre. THUD Bucket is, of course, death metal you can laugh at. We have a new video out for Per My Last Email, the song that started it all, and I'm working very hard to turn something in that's useful and fun for Praise Hail Nothing. Possibly the most ambitious video I've done, because I'm doing it on a laptop with approximately 1/4000th of the processing power of what they use to make professional videos. And we'll see how that goes. You can find THUD Bucket anywhere on any streaming music service that has the word music in it, as well as Bandcamp and Spotify. Oh, I should also mention this, and it's not in here yet, but I have been picked up by Unruly Voices, a small independent publishing house, and they are going to be republishing Artisanal Gibberish Volume 1, and they're going to also publish Artisanal Gibberish Volume 2. That's right. I have two volumes of Artisanal Gibberish, which will be inflicted upon an unsuspecting public in print and ebook format. They are slim volumes of poetry, the perfect thing to leave on the toilet tank in the bathroom or gift to your least beloved relative. that's really about it. Here we are again on a Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday. I know, I'm pretty astonished by it, really. And by the way, I know there's some writers out there. I know some folks that are writers and poets and the like. And I have absolutely no qualms about introducing you to the publishing house that I'm been picked up by. They go entirely by they go by royalty based instead of an advance based, which I'm fine with because I know what it's like to be a writer, and so we will happily fling this out and inflict it on more people as it comes by. Watch my page and the Tobias the Adequate page for more details as that comes along. I think that's enough out of me for one day. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Take care. Be careful. And remember that the best we can do is protect ourselves. And sometimes that doesn't feel like enough. But if we can protect ourselves, enough of us protect ourselves, we wind up protecting other people. I know it's incredibly frustrating, and it can be incredibly scary. I'm in it with y'all. We are all in this together. We don't have any other planets to go to, so we still outnumber those guys. We still do. Remember that. I'm going to keep saying it till you believe it, because it's true. Y'all have been wonderful. I have been Tobias the Adequate. And I thank you once again for encouraging my behavior. And I will see y'all next time. Take care. Aloha.